Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jen, and today we are actually going to do a build video, and I'm going to change this campground in Granite Falls. That's right, we are going to switch out this old campground and we are going to make it a pretty cabin. I was kind of following along on a little picture that I had looked up online of just some cabins, and I was like, you know what, I found one that I really liked. I liked the color scheme of it. Was very red and green. I changed it maybe to a bit more orangey, but still some red also in the build, especially on the inside. But you'll see as we go along. But yeah, we have been working on the Pack Legacy Challenge here on my channel. And so I was like, one of the optional goals is to build yourself a little lodge in Granite Falls and use only the base game and outdoor retreat. So that is what we were working on here in this build. So yeah, here I'm just kind of working on setting the cabin up, trying to figure out exactly what the layout of the cabin was going to be, and the I guess I want to call it a deck, because really that's kind of what it turned into, which is kind of what I wanted. I did want a deck versus like a porch, and that's kind of why I used that foundation, because I wanted it to look like it was almost up on stilts. Now it could have been a little bit higher, yes, but we're not near water per se. That I felt like I needed to worry about flooding. So I know it's The Sims and that doesn't happen, but even if it was real life, I didn't feel like that would be something we needed to worry about. So I didn't want it to be up too high. But yeah, so here you can see I'm just kind of trying to figure out what kind of flooring and wallpaper I'm going to use here on the outside. I did want to use as much of the items that came with with Outdoor Retreat as I could with Granite Falls. But I was, like I said, working with a picture. And so I knew I wanted the windows to be green because of the picture that I was working with. And I loved the way these windows looked on the cabin wallpaper. So this is the one that I decided to go with. And I did also make the door the same color, as well as the roof, which you'll be able to see. I'm getting ready to work on the roof here in just a second. But I really liked the way that came together and looked. So yeah, I was really, really happy with it. Now I myself am not the kind of girl who likes to go camping. So I will say, if I was going to do any camping, I would probably want to come stay in a nice little cabin, but maybe a bigger cabin than this one. This one ends up being a very, very small cabin, as you can see. But I did get enough in there for one sim to sleep comfortably, and I put a tent in outside. So I think it's one of the bigger tents. It might be able to hold 4 sims. I'm not really sure. I don't use it that much, but I went ahead and threw it out there, out in the outdoor area, just in case more sims came along and you needed more space for them to sleep. So yeah, it's definitely an option. I'm just getting ready to add in another window here for the bathroom, because I was trying to think about where I wanted the bathroom to be, and I decided the back of the house there would probably be the best spot for it. And as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and add in the front door, which I do move around a couple of times, because that door, I just couldn't get it where I wanted it to be honest. But I ended up finding a location for it. It's pretty much in the same spot where it is now. But of course, you have to move it around 500 times before you can figure that out. At least if you're me, you do. And then I start working on the flooring inside and the wallpaper inside. Now I do at least lay in some floor here on this main room, but as I work in my way into the bathroom, I start to realize that I cannot see very well. So it would probably behoove me to put in some lights so that I can see. And which I do. And unfortunately, I didn't ever get back to changing those lights out, which generally at the end of a build, I'll go through and I'll kind of make any last little changes that I want to make. And the lights are usually at that point, because I'll say, okay, what goes with this room? And I'll go ahead and change the lights out. But I guess for some reason, when I was doing that in this build, I just completely skipped that step and I did not even think about the lights. But it is what it is. Now here I'm going ahead and adding some wallpaper to the main living area, and I really wanted to bring in the green from the outside and the roof and the windows into the inside area. So I went with a really pretty green wallpaper. But I didn't want that to be the entire room because I just felt like it would be too much. So I added in some brown wallpaper that matches and has the same um, crown and floor moldings. I just really liked it. Just thought it worked out really nice. I used the columns that came with Outdoor Retreat to separate out the kitchen area. And I thought about putting a spandrel there, but I couldn't find a spandrel that matched, that was that same green color. So I ended up not using one. And then I went ahead and used tile for the kitchen that was going to match the tile in the bathroom. Now, I did know that I did not want a full kitchen here in this particular cabin. I really wanted it to be still more of a like outdoorsy kind of a cabin. So I didn't add in a stove. There's a refrigerator so you can grab like a quick meal, and there's a sink so that you can clean up. I did add a table and chairs in here, so there is room to eat inside. But there's no stove, so really you still have to do your cooking outside, which works for me. That's kind of what I wanted out of this particular cabin. The ones that I make in the future will probably be bigger and include full kitchens and things like that. But this one, I still wanted my Sims to have to struggle a bit. So yeah, it took me a second to get this little condiment stand thing set up. I just could not get it in the right spot, but I finally managed. So yeah, I'm going to add some pretty pictures here in the kitchen, and then I think I'm going to turn around and start making a little dining area, which I really liked the way it turned out in the end. It took me a minute to get it where I wanted it to go, but it eventually got there. You can see I used some different color woods here because I feel like that's kind of how it would be in a little cabin like this, you know, especially one that you're going to rent. I don't know about you, but almost every rental I've ever been to of a little cabin like this, and I've been to quite a few because I do like to, if I'm going to camp, like this is the way I'm going to go. I'm going to rent myself a little cabin. I'm not the tent kind of girl anymore, especially at my age. So yeah, I'm going to rent myself a nice little cabin, and everyone I've ever been in has I guess I feel like the furniture is meant to match, but it doesn't match, if you know what I mean. The woods are always a different color. There's always some kind of a theme, but at the same time, you can see that like everything was bought from somewhere different, like over the years, and it's all just kind of thrown in there. And I love it. I mean, I'm not knocking anything about that, but I wanted this cabin to kind of have that kind of a feel to it where like, yeah, you can tell that this stuff was probably like stuff that maybe they had or they've kind of accumulated through the years for this cabin, but they didn't just hire a decorator and decorate this cabin all at once, right? Like for instance, this chair right here that I'm working with, I almost wish I would have chosen a different chair that was red. I just feel like this one's a bit modern, but I also feel like the lamp that I used right here is also really modern, so that kind of makes it work for me in a way. But it's very different from the rest of the house, which again, I think is kind of okay because I think in a cabin like this, the owner who you're renting from probably would have just thrown in any furniture that they had. Now you can see me working on the bathroom. It's a very outdoor retreat bathroom, which I'm okay with. I really like the stuff that came with the outdoor retreat as far as the bathroom. It's not something I use in most of my builds because it doesn't really match, but I think if you're going to do a log cabin, then you got to include them, right? But I decided here at the last minute that I did want to put a bed in here. So I decided to put one of the bunk beds that just has the top bunk. And then I put a dresser up underneath it just because I feel like, I was like, if I came camping, I don't want to have this cabin and not be able for anyone to sleep inside, right? Like that kind of defeats the purpose of renting a cabin. Since my sim that I've been playing with in the Pack Legacy Challenge is a single sim right now, just one person works for me for right now. Like I said, I'll probably build more cabins in the future in Outdoor Retreat and I'll make those bigger. But for right now, I think this one's going to do. I decided it also needed some skill building things. And I was like, well, what would you do? Well, you probably would want like a microscope, or not a microscope, a telescope. That makes a lot of sense out in the outdoors when you're camping, because you can look up at the stars real easy. I don't know about you guys, but that would be something I would love to do if I rented a cabin and there was a telescope there. But I also put in a little mixology table, so or a little bar, so you can work on your mixology skill while you're here. I don't know why you would want to, but why not? And I just started, here's where I start kind of looking around and just seeing, what did I miss? What else can I add in? And I knew I wanted to add in, and I landscape a little bit. I forgot about that. Sorry. Yeah. So let me hang on before I say that. And let's say, well, we're going to do some landscaping first. Which landscaping is not my forte. You guys will be able to tell. I'm just kind of looking around right now, and I was like, what trees, etc. came with outdoor retreat, because I want to try and use those. So I was looking around for that. And then I was like, well, let me kind of fill up some of this dead space over here with some flowers. I didn't really put in a whole lot. But I put in a little bit. I don't keep this. I ended up getting rid of it and putting in something different. But, yeah, you can see that I kind of struggle a little bit with, landscaping. Now, I've watched a ton of videos. I love watching people build in The Sims 4. So, yeah, but I'm just really not, it's not what I'm best at. I used to love to build in The Sims 4. It used to be probably my favorite thing about this game was to build. But I don't know. I'd say over the past couple of years, I've gotten to the point where I actually play a lot more than I build, which is surprising to me. And it might be to you too, because I've heard a lot of people say that they don't like the gameplay of The Sims 4. And I can get it, because I didn't like it that much for a long time either, especially as an older player. I've played every single iteration of The Sims. I own all of them still. I don't know if you are familiar with my channel, but you'll see me play The Sims 2 quite a bit. I do some ASMR videos with The Sims 2. So yeah, I really enjoy all of the franchise. And The Sims 4 was really different, especially in the beginning when it came out. Doesn't have like any kind of a story to follow, especially like The Sims 2, how there was a story, right? I know like you didn't have to follow the same story. You could kind of take it wherever you wanted it to go, but I feel like that's what most long-term Sims players were looking for when The Sims 4 came out, and we didn't get it. But I feel like through the years, I've started to notice that The Sims 4 is what you make it. It does take a little bit of imagination to play for some people. And then there's other people like myself who just find a challenge that they think will make the game fun for them, and they really focus in on that, which is kind of what I've been doing with the Pack Legacy Challenge. And I've done it with other challenges in the past that unfortunately I didn't decide to film and put on YouTube. Um, but, here we are now, and I am, so that's great. But yeah, like I said, The Sims 4 is really what you make it. So that's why I want to focus on that challenge. And yeah, so here we are. I think I'm trying to wrap everything up and show you what everything looks like finally. And I still find a few little mistakes you'll see along the way. Like for instance, right there, I don't know if you noticed the foundation is wrong, but I do notice that and fix it. But you can see the little bedroom that I put in, the little kitchen I love. But I do, as I'm going to show you the dining room, notice that there's nothing on the dining room table. Generally, I would like something to be there, a plant, something. It took me a couple minutes to decide which one, but I decided that I wanted to go with this little potted plant was fine. And then I decided that I also wanted a little bit more red in this room. I really liked the red of all of the chairs. Like even the dining chairs have that really reddish wood. And so I wanted something else to bring out the red. So I decided with these red curtains. And then I just moved that dining table out a little bit so that the curtains aren't clipping, because that really bugs me. So I got that taken care of. But yeah, and I'm just again, just showing you kind of what everything looks like, the little bathroom. I decided also in here that we needed maybe some kind of a picture in here, just to kind of put some decoration in there, because there's not a lot. There's not a lot, which, like I said, is fine for this small little tiny cabin. I didn't need a whole lot going on in here. So yeah. Do you guys like going camping? I wonder. You can please answer in the comments. I would love to hear it. And what kind of camping do you like to do? Do you like to camp in a tent? Do you like to get yourself a cabin or something like that? And what do you do when you go camping? Do you go like hiking a whole lot, or I myself end up going fishing. So I find that's one of my favorite things to do. I think I've talked about that in a different video, but yeah, so my husband and I will rent like fishing cabins and go and just fish for like a week or a weekend sometimes. But yeah, so that's just what we like to do. But yeah, here's pretty much the finished result. I really appreciate it if you stuck around today and watched the video. I would also, of course, really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave me a comment of some kind and just let me know what you would like to see in the future. Other than that, like I said, I appreciate it. Come by and see me again in the next one.